Hi guys, today I'm going to give you my spoiler-free review for Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. This stars Michael B. Jordan and it hits Amazon Prime Video on April 30th. You guys, I'm excited to talk to you about this, but before I do, I love it if you take 1 second, hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's get into this movie. Hey, Tessa from Mama's Geeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. So if you guys are a fan of action-packed films, then you're probably going to like Without Remorse. It's one of my favorite things about it. I'm a giant fan of action, especially when done right, and there's some really awesome sequences that go on in Without Remorse. Now, the story itself is a bit predictable, and I have not read the book. So for those who have read the book, I'm curious how similar this movie really is to the book, and if it's extremely predictable as you go throughout it. It feels like they try to throw in a couple of twists and turns, but I had this thing figured out fairly early on. Now, this is all about Michael B. Jordan's character, John Kelly, whose wife and Navy SEAL teammates really are all just killed, murdered. And he's out to seek revenge, right? And maybe there's some deep, dark conspiracy as to why this happened. And we'll figure that out fairly early on. And then it rolls into getting a lot deeper than maybe you would think it would be on the surface. Now, my biggest issue with this movie, in all honesty, is that it is dark. And I don't mean dark like dark and gritty. Y'all know how much I love my dark and gritty stuff, which it is a little dark and gritty. I mean dark like actually literally dark. I mean, I turned all the lights off in my living room. I turned the brightness up on my television, and I still had a hard time making out a lot of the scenes, especially those action scenes, which are the ones I really enjoy watching. They happen at night, and they're just so dark, and it's so frustrating because it's really, really hard to make out what's happening. That was a huge bummer because these action sequences are really cool, and what you do see is pretty awesome. Michael B. Jordan, of course, absolutely kills in this role. No pun intended. Maybe a little bit of a pun intended. He's fantastic. I mean, listen, the guy has some serious acting chops. We know that already. You see him in things like Black Panther where he's just absolutely incredible. And then you get to this character where you can see that, yeah, he's a great actor and he brings a lot of heart to that character, but he's also a pretty kick-ass action star. Like, this dude could be an action star. I'd be here for it. I really, really enjoy him in this movie from beginning to end. He's definitely my favorite character, and I kind of started to feel for him almost instantly. He sucked me in as like, okay, I like this character. I support this character and everything he does, even if it's wrong. Now, the plot isn't bad. The story itself isn't bad. It's just very predictable, but it does bring some heart to it, and I did enjoy that part of it, that aspect of it. The other characters surrounding Michael B. Jordan, none of them really did anything for me, which was another bit of a downfall here. And we have like some villains, but they just didn't do it for me either. And you guys know me, you know I love my villains. I love a good villain, and I felt like this movie was really lacking that. And perhaps that's partly because they want to keep the true villain under wraps. I don't know, but something about it just fell flat for me in that aspect. That being said, the action is awesome. Michael B. Jordan is incredible. So yes, it is still worth watching. I give Without Remorse a 3 out of 5. If it wasn't for the action scenes being as dark as they were and hard to see as they were, probably would have bumped this up to a 3.5 out of 5. If you guys have already seen Without Remorse by the time you get to this review, you let me know what you think down below in the comments. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. You can follow me over on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Mama's Geeky over there. MAMASGEEKY. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, guys. And don't forget, Without Remorse hits Amazon Prime Video on April 30th. Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.